with this woman, Fushiguro? Don't tell her you've forgotten that night, that special night we had together
all along. You said your time with me was the most enjoyable of all. And you said of all the
What's with you? Where? Right under your feet. Earth style. Headhunter jutsu.
Great!
Captain Forest here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over both these combatants to see who would win more often than not in a cross-verse situation. Megumi from JJK versus Kid Sasuke from Part 1 Naruto. If you guys enjoy my content, please leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for further content. Shouts to Nardik, he's been a huge help with the Megumi section, and shouts to Kurai for helping me with the Kid Sasuke section. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead, talk about Megumi, and then talk about his Shikigami to determine where they would scale. Megumi is durable enough to withstand an attack from a special grade which was in possession of one of Sukuna's fingers, and Megumi himself was also able to physically damage this special grade. According to the Jujutsu sorcerer grade ranks, it would require the use of carpet bombing, a special grade with cluster bombs. Cluster bombs are calculated to have the potency to destroy a small building, so Megumi would scale to this physically. Megumi's Shikigami, called Totality, is able to damage Hanami, who is more durable than Jogo, as the attacks that Hanami had taken from Todo and Itadori would have been enough to kill Jogo. We also see Megumi get into a domain tug of war with Dagon with the intention of opening a hole inside, which he successfully did. This is incredibly impressive for Megumi, as it means his domain was strong enough to not be easily washed away by Dagon's more complex domain, though he was at his limit. Dagon himself was able to create his own tropical island, which was calced around the mountain level ranges of attack potency. This is all good for Megumi because Jogo was stated to be on a whole nother level compared to Dagon. So now we have some established attack potency for some of his Shikigami as well as Megumi himself. So anyway, let's move on and talk about speed. So Megumi is able to move in tandem with Itadori and fight alongside each other against Juro. During the fight, Yuji got tagged, but Megumi showcases that he's fast enough to dodge attacks from Juro and prepares to summon his frog Shikigami. This is impressive for Megumi because there's also a feat of Yuji reacting to piercing blood, which also has a myriad of ranges stemming from the transonic, subsonic plus, supersonic plus to hypersonic speeds. Yuji and Megumi would also scale above the feat that Maki performed when she was able to catch a bullet, which was calced around the high hypersonic ranges of speeds. Very impressive. That's going to round up speed. Let's talk more about Megumi's abilities and all that good stuff. What makes Megumi stand out from the rest of his other teammates is his use of being able to summon Shikigami, which basically are manifested by the user summoning them using curse technique. Shikigami's primary use is to help and aid the summoner in combat. The 10 shadows technique is an inherited technique passed down in the Zenin family using shadows as an intermediary. This technique allows the user to summon 10 different Shikigami. At the beginning of the series, Megumi could only summon divine dogs, and he could only summon his Nui, which basically both have their own distinctive uses. Divine dogs are 2 dogs that use their sense of smell to track cursed spirits and attack them. Unfortunately for one of his twin divine dogs, it was killed by a special grade curse. However, there are still advantages for a Shikigami summoner, as a fallen Shikigami that has died will leave behind its curse energy, which the other Shikigami will inherit. With this newly inherited power, Totality now has the strength and the speed in order to completely impale, slash, blitz, and claw his opponents. Nue, one of Megumi's Shikigamis, is used primarily as a means of transport or to aid him in combat or to protect him. Nue can also emit electricity and shock his opponents. Megumi can summon frogs, which use their tongues to grab onto people or the opponent to restrain them or throw them into walls. Megumi can summon Max Elephant, which shoots out a giant wave of water at the opponent, pushing them back with great force. Megumi also likes to summon Max Elephant in the sky as it falls down and lands on the opponent with great force. Megumi can summon bunny rabbits, which are used to swarm the opponent and to buy Megumi time in situations. Megumi uses the water from Max Elephant to merge with his bunny's Shikigami so that every time they die, more rabbits appear. And as a last resort, Megumi will summon General Mahoraga, and Mahoraga himself has many unique abilities. Mahoraga is one of Megumi's most dangerous Shikigami. Gojo states that Mahoraga had killed a Limitless and a Six Eyes user long ago. Mahoraga, during its fight with Sukuna, used positive energy to attack Sukuna at first, to which Sukuna states that if he was just a cursed spirit, he'd be a goner. Mahoraga also has adaptation, and it demonstrates this as it was able to adapt to Sukuna, and it used cursed energy next and also adapts to Sukuna's slashing attack, being able to see his attacks. Another impressive thing for Mahoraga was the fact that his attacks were able to actually crack Sukuna's wrist and send him flying, to which Sukuna actually compliments him, saying it's not bad. So that's going to round up Megumi's Shikigami. Mahoraga is a force to be reckoned with, very good abilities, and his other Shikigami have prominent abilities too. But moving on to more techniques, Megumi can also hide in the shadows of others to sneak attack from behind, and he can also store his items inside his shadows too. Megumi himself has a domain expansion called Chimera Shadow Garden, however it is currently incomplete. His domain works more efficiently while inside enclosed spaces such as caves, gymnasiums, or inside buildings. Inside the domain is a swamp of random curses and animals that attack the opponent. Megumi also has substitute curses which takes the hit for him. He can summon clones of himself also to outnumber and press the opponent. The domain increases the precision of his curse technique, so it's more likely to hit the opponent with higher and sheer accuracy. Now that's going to round up those abilities. Let's move on to intelligence. Megumi was able to figure out how Kirara's love rendezvous work and found loopholes and flaws in order to exploit its weakness and subdue him. Megumi fights Reggie in straight hand-to-hand combat and was on the losing end. However, Divine Dogs comes and was able to one-shot him. Reggie, with Megumi, purposely waited for Reggie to dismiss it so that he could sneak attack him. Megumi also has some precognition as he was able to predict Choji's attack. Megumi is stated to also be a genius who started school as a grade 2 sorcerer. Megumi comes equipped with tonfas for offensive and defensive means and a curse tool for combat, and Megumi can also summon more than just one Shikigami. He can summon 2 on the battlefield. So that's going to round up Megumi. Let's move on to the blue bird himself, Kid Sasuke. Now, in order to determine where Kid Sasuke would scale, we must go over some feats and some characters. Kid Sasuke, during the bell training exercise, performs a 5-star fireball jutsu, which is pretty impressive. Kakashi himself was impressed by Sasuke's use of the jutsu, as no beginner would have the power or chakra necessary to perform this technique. The blast of fire was able to vaporize the crater, as confirmed in the guidebook itself. This feat was calced around the 18.58 tons of TNT, aka city block level. Sasuke himself has shown to physically damage Gaara in his fights. He was able to pierce through Gaara's sand barrier with a Chidori. Gaara himself has performed a feat where he was able to grind up and cover a whole terrain in sand. This was calced around the 46 kiloton ranges of TNT, aka town level. We all like some consistency as well, folks. So Naruto himself has a direct feat where he was able to intercept and attack a giant snake. This feat was calced around the 17.92 kilotons of TNT, aka town level, and Sasuke himself has fought Naruto himself and has damaged him in combat. All these feats that I've mentioned all apply to base Kid Sasuke. We can also get Sasuke even higher, folks, if we include the curse mark amplifications. Curse mark increases your power by 10 times. So if we use the 46 kiloton calc and times it by 10, that equates to 460 kilotons, aka large town level, with the curse mark applied. And if we use curse mark 2, it would bump Kid Sasuke up to the 920 kilotons, making him large town level plus. Very impressive. That's gonna wrap up AP, folks. Let's jump on over to speed. When it comes to speed, Sasuke would scale to Naruto, as they both can fight each other relatively and at certain points have the edge over one another. Naruto has some casual low-end feats of supersonic, hypersonic, to even high hypersonic feats, such as Naruto blitzing some thugs. This was calced around the Mach 1.19, aka supersonic, and there was also a calc done for the same feat, which was calced around the Mach 10, which is hypersonic plus. And to get Naruto to high hypersonic, we can use the feat where Naruto is able to tag Gaara before he could even get up his automatic sand defense, which was calced around the low ends of Mach 25 up to the Mach 51 ranges. Sasuke himself has beaten up Gaara and has passed through his automatic defenses, so it's safe to say that Sasuke scales to this too. Sasuke himself has a higher speed feat thanks to his Chidori. The only quantifiable feat we can use to get Kid Sasuke to massively hypersonic plus is with Kakashi being stated to cut through lightning. Now the speed of a downstroke of lightning is Mach 1249, which is massively hypersonic plus. Naruto can keep pace with Sasuke when he uses it, and Sasuke is able to keep pace with Naruto. That's going to wrap up stats. Now before we go over Sasuke's abilities, I must talk about something in the verse of Naruto called chakra. Chakra is physical, spiritual, and mental in nature. It is used in different ways. Ninjutsu involves molding chakra into physical forms. Ninjutsu can be used for medical purposes, shape transformations, and nature transformations. These techniques often involve the use of hand seals. Genjutsu, unlike ninjutsu, Genjutsu attacks the victim's mind rather than the body. These manipulate the flow of chakra within a person's brain, causing illusions to occur. Genjutsu is capable of being stopped by an outside force. Taijutsu does not require chakra, but chakra can be used to enhance physical power, and in other cases, also the gates themselves. It involves any techniques that focus on martial arts or natural human capabilities. Chakra is used in many ways, such as imbuing chakra into certain parts of the body, which is used to climb up objects such as trees. It can be used to lace weapons such as kunais and shurikens to give them the fundamental properties and inflict more damage. It can be used to perform a substitute jutsu, which it replaces the user's body with a block of wood. This technique is used to trick the opponent into thinking their attack landed successfully, when in actual fact it has hit the block of wood, allowing the person to evade or sneak attack the enemy. Sasuke can use the fire style fireball jutsu, where he kneads up chakra from his body to then blast the opponent with a short range blast of fire. This technique was created by the Uchiha clan. Kakashi himself was surprised at Sasuke's execution of the technique due to his young age and the difficulty of performing such a technique. The fire style dragon flame jutsu, after Sasuke restrains his opponents with wires, Sasuke will blast a linear stream of fire onto the wires, which the flames spread down the wire at rapid speeds to incinerate the target. Fire style phoenix flower jutsu, Sasuke will spit a volley of small fireballs into the air. At a glance, it can appear as though there was only one fireball, then they start to burst into many. The many small flames move wildly through the area, potentially mesmerizing targets as they're surrounded. The user controls each individual flame with their chakra, allowing them to guide each at every target, consequently making this technique difficult to evade. Shurikens can be hidden within the flames, not only making them more deadly upon impact, but also by controlling the flame's movements, giving users a means of controlling the shurikens as well. Let's talk about something that is unique to Kid Sasuke, called the Sharingan. The Sharingan is a dojutsu keke genkai of the Uchiha clan that appears selectively among its members. Those who wield such eyes are able to perform many feats and abilities. With the Sharingan, the user is able to copy almost any jutsu they see, memorizing ninjutsu, genjutsu, and taijutsu with near perfect accuracy, such as the time Sasuke copied one of Lee's techniques. It also lets the user see the flow of chakra. Sharingan also grants the user precognition, allowing them to read the muscle movements of the opponent and their flow of chakra to stay steps ahead of them. As the Sharingan develops, the user can perform ocular genjutsu to hypnotize the opponent, a form of mind manipulation. Now, let's talk about Sasuke's curse mark forms. Sasuke's curse mark forms, as established before, increases powers by 10 times. It also empowers his other techniques also. Curse Mark 2 in comparison to Curse Mark 1 is a distinctive form that Sasuke turns into, granting him wings and the ability to fly. Now, onto Kid Sasuke's signature move called the Chidori. Sasuke uses chakra to generate electricity around his hand. Sasuke will then charge towards his opponents at lightning speeds to ram his hand into the opponent. The Chidori also negates durability. As for equipment, Sasuke carries a small assortment of ninja tools such as kunais, shurikens, paper bombs, and wires. As for intelligence, Sasuke was able to outsmart Orochimaru by throwing kunais laced with wires to restrict his movements and prevent his escape in order to light his ass up with Dragon Flame Jutsu. Sasuke is a natural genius in his whole class, graduating at the top. And lastly, Sasuke was smart enough to deduce how Haku's ability worked. So that's going to round up both of these combatants. I'm going to go ahead, give my thoughts on who I think wins more often than not in a cross-verse situation. So in order to determine who would take victory more often than not, I must talk about stats in this matchup. Now in terms of attack potency, Megumi, physically, he has small building level attack and durability, and as for his Shikigami such as Totality, Mahoraga, they all have mountain level ranges of attack potency. As for speed, easily, he's ranging from the Subsonic, which is the Mach 0.66, Supersonic, which is around the Mach 1.33 to the Mach 2.70 to Mach 4.33, and hypersonic around the Mach 5.41 and to the high hypersonic ranges of Mach 27. Now if we look at Kid Sasuke's stats, he easily ranges from town level in base, but if we give him his curse mark amps, he easily reaches around the large town level plus ranges. Speed around the supersonic ranges, he's Mach 1.19, hypersonic Mach 10, high hypersonic he's around Mach 25 to Mach 51. And for the higher speed stuff, which Sasuke has, which is the massively hypersonic, which is around the Mach 1249. Now if we do the comparison, if we're going off subsonic, Megumi is going to get speed blitz, he's too slow. Kid Sasuke easily has the faster speed going into this. Now if we move up to the supersonic ranges, Megumi does edge out, he's a little bit more faster into the tiers when it comes to supersonic. There's just a lot more quantifications and there's just higher ranges you can take it, so he would edge out in speed if it came to the supersonic ranges. Hypersonic, I would say that Sasuke edges out more, you know, Mach 10 in comparison to Mach 5.41, there's a difference between that, so Sasuke would be faster in that tier. And of course with the high hypersonic ranges, it's very close. I would have to say that Megumi edges out just a little bit more, Mach 27 in comparison to Mach 25, so it's a 2 point difference. But if we give the higher assumption, which is the Mach 51, then Sasuke completely blitzes in that tier. And of course, unfortunately, Megumi doesn't have any massively hypersonic speed, so he's going to get completely blitzed if we give Sasuke his massively hypersonic plus speed scaling, his lightning timer stuff. Let's go over some win cons and then we'll just talk about, you know, how the fight would progress and go over different rounds and different ranges. So Megumi's win cons and advantages: his Shikigami totality is stronger than Sasuke, so AP wouldn't be an issue for his Shikigami. They easily would be able to physically hurt Sasuke. I would say they edge out in AP. Mountain versus like town level, it's not enough. Even if you give Sasuke large town level plus with the curse mark amps, it's just not good enough. It's just still paltry. But moving on, despite the fact that Megumi does have some disadvantages, he doesn't have the AP physically or the durability to take any of Sasuke's attacks. So even if you downplay Sasuke and we only use the city block stuff, like that Fire Star, Fireball Jutsu, or any of Sasuke's physical attacks will one-shot Megumi physically. But anyway, let's move on. So Megumi has some other tactics. In character, he summons Shikigami and he will use tactics. He can also summon totality for the rushdown approach. Megumi can hide in the shadows, because he can hide in his opponent's shadows too. He can summon different Shikigami for certain situations to outdo Kid Sasuke, such as summoning Max Elephant for pushing back with a lot of water, or sneak attacking Sasuke by causing the elephant to drop from the sky and crushing Sasuke if he's not suspecting of it. He can also summon bunny rabbits to overwhelm or hide or use to protect himself from Sasuke's fire style fireball jutsus, his kunais or paper bombs. If things get hairy, you can also summon Mahoraga as a last resort, and I really don't see what Sasuke can do against Mahoraga himself. But anyway, Megumi also has his domain expansion, but he will need to be in a secluded area. It's not going to be very useful outside because the domain expansion currently in Jujutsu Kaisen for Megumi is incomplete, so he won't be able to use domain expansion outside in the open. He'd have to somehow lure Sasuke into a building, secluded area like a cave or a gymnasium or something with like a massive roof. Now Sasuke's win cons, again depending on what ranges of speed you use for him, he has advantages. So if we use his higher end stuff, he's going to blitz Megumi very easily. He has the AP to take down Megumi physically, but when it comes to his stronger Shikigami, the Shikigami are just way too powerful physically. I really don't see what he can do unless he uses like Chidori, which has durability negation, which is also a good win con for him. Now Sasuke does have the Sharingan, so he could precog and copy movements, so he'd be able to kind of use that to stay a step ahead. But also Megumi also has that too. Megumi also has precognition as well, which he can use in combat too. But I will say that if it came down to layers, I think Kid Sasuke has more layers of precog. He has different variety of fire style jutsus to perform in combat. Sasuke has ninja tools for range combat, substitute jutsus if he gets into trouble. He has his Chidori for rushdown and quick easy kills. He's also very smart and tactical. He can also activate his curse marks to upgrade his AP, and he can also use his chakra for practical use in combat, so if he ever needs to like run up a tree or run up a wall, or if he's fighting any of his Shikigami, he could use chakra in this fight. So if we're going off the lower interpretation of subsonic ranges and what the stats I've given for AP, bro, Sasuke's gonna blitz. It's not a competition at all. Megumi's not gonna have any time to get get up his Shikigami at all. And even if we give him like a good amount of distance between them, it's just that the speed gap is just way too big. Supersonic ranges, however, Megumi does edge out in the speed department. He is faster, so he would be able to summon his Shikigami really fast. Even if Sasuke from a distance has time to react, let's say he performs like a fire style fireball jutsu, like Megumi, he's going to start using his bunny rabbits. He's going to use bunny rabbits. They're going to get burnt. It's going to create smoke and vapor. That's going to give Megumi time to hide in the shadows. He could just get the drop around Sasuke and then just, you know, sneak attack him from, you know, from the back by summoning his totality, which could be an issue because totality can also hide in the shadows too. Totality could just one-shot him and get Sasuke off guard, so I see that happening more often than not. But if we go off the hypersonic ranges, however, easily Sasuke edges out. He's too quick. Once he gets in, even if Megumi summons his Shikigami, Sasuke has precog. He has the speed edge, so he could just avoid them and, like, you know, throw paper bombs or try to do any type of jutsu attacks, even though they'd be able to tank it due to them having higher AP and durability. However, it wouldn't matter because Sasuke could just get around. He just target Megumi as his main target. Sasuke will go for him because Sasuke's been in situations where he's had to fight characters who rely on, you know, using jutsus to attack from far distances or using other means necessary to do so. So I definitely see Sasuke just getting in. If Megumi gets into a hand-to-hand combat with Sasuke, and if Megumi starts to draw out his curse tools, Sasuke is going to completely embarrass Megumi in physical combat. The Sharingan is going to be like the huge Winkan. He's going to be reading Megumi's patterns. He's going to be copying and just literally reading Megumi like a book, and he's just going to outperform him with, you know, his own Lion Barrage, or he'd use kunai, or, you know, just kill him, you know, with a paper bomb, or just, you know, fire style fireball jutsu his ass, or wrap his body with wires and then just, you know, just like use dragon flame jutsu, and that's going to be GG. So personally, I got to give that to Sasuke because he's just fast and he has the AP necessary to take him out. If not, at worst, if Sasuke has to deal with the Shikigami, he could just use Chidori. Chidori does negate durability, so the mountain level difference wouldn't really matter, so he could rip through totality or the bunny rabbits. In fact, if he tried to put bunny rabbits, he'd just tear through the bunny rabbits, blitz towards Megumi and just stab him right in the chest or his heart or his lung. Megumi's done for. So when it comes to the high hypersonic stuff, it's very close. They're very relative in the speed department. Mach 27 versus Mach 25. Megumi slightly has the speed edge, so he'd react a little bit faster in combat. However, if we give them distance, of course, Sasuke's going to have enough time to do stuff. This is when things get really tricky because Megumi, he's at his complete element when it comes to using Shikigami. It does depend on what type of Shikigami he uses. Typically, he likes to use totality, or he likes to do a setup where he will get, like, you know, like Max Elephant ready to take out Sasuke if Sasuke, you know, isn't paying attention, or he'll try and, you know, counteract Sasuke. If Sasuke tries to use like any of his fire styles, like Phoenix Flower, like he could just summon Max Elephant Megumi and just shoot water to try and extinguish the flames, which could be very effective. That would create vapor. That would give Megumi an opportunity to hide in the shadows. We could see a repeat of, like, you know, round 2. That'd be an issue, especially if Sasuke doesn't see him, because Sasuke has actually been sneaked. He got snooked by Kakashi. So if Sasuke's not careful and if he doesn't notice where Megumi's gone, that shadow sneak attack could really be an issue, and he'd definitely take out Sasuke, especially since he'd use totality again, or Max Elephant. He could just summon Max Elephant if he doesn't see, if he's stuck in the vapor. And since obviously, you know, Megumi, he doesn't use chakra, that aspect of the Sharingan won't be very useful, so that'd be an issue. But you could make the argument that if Sasuke, you know, if he notices last minute that he's getting snuck on, he could use substitute jutsu. That could be very useful. Megumi's going to be confused because he's going to be tricked into thinking he actually got Sasuke, and if that does happen, you know, Sasuke could definitely, with his precog as well, if he is able to see it happen before him, since the speed gap isn't that huge, it's very, very slightly, like, leaning towards Megumi, you could argue Sasuke just gets the drop on Megumi himself. So it just depends on what you believe, you know, what would happen more often than not in the high hypersonic ranges. Now, when it comes to Megumi's other abilities and his other Shikigami, like his Maharaga, which can adapt to attacks after it gets hit, it just adapts. I think Sasuke's gonna really have a hard time against Mahoraga if he does summon it, but I don't really see him summoning it straight away. It's more so as a last resort when Megumi's struggling a lot in combat, but if he does summon it, I think Mahoraga is just going to be able to adapt to Last Sasuke's abilities, and then he'd just be able to take out Sasuke in that round. If Megumi was able to summon it, it'd be an issue. Now, domain expansion, it's a little bit difficult to try and argue he'd get off the domain expansion unless you argue he's able to lure Sasuke into a building or a secluded area like a gymnasium. But let's say he's able to do it, then the domain expansion would be a lot more effective indoors. He'd be able to summon clones of himself. He could even trap Sasuke. However, Sasuke would be able to use substitute jutsu, try and get out of the way. He could use fire style to try and attack the clones, but if he gets swamped by a lot of these, Shikigami, that could be an issue, especially if Sasuke, starts running out of chakra. That could be an issue if he starts using too much of his chakra. And even if he uses fire style fireball jutsu, he could take out a swarm of them. But Megumi, he'd just pressure more. He'd summon just more bunnies, more of his nasty other Shikigami. He'd summon toads. He'd summon all sorts. I think if it comes down to that point, I think the domain expansion could definitely be a huge issue in this fight as well. There's also a thing that Reggie even notes, that the shadow that Megumi has, it could potentially even seal you. There could be a possibility that Sasuke could get sealed inside Megumi's shadow, and if that does happen, that is a GG. There's nothing Sasuke can do. But that's if we entertain the idea of them taking the fight, and if the fight stretches out longer. But if we use the, the high hypersonic ranges, it is very close. It just depends on what you think is going to happen more often than not. Could lean with Sasuke a little more if Sasuke is able to get around the sneak attack and use his substitute jutsu, fire style fireball jutsu, his Sharingan, precognition. Those things could play a huge advantage into this fight, and if he gets around Megumi, that's definitely a GG. Now, for the final round, of course, Sasuke has his massively hypersonic plus, reaction and travel speed with the Chidori, and his general reaction speed in general. He's easily going to take this round very easily. He's way too fast. He's going to blitz Megumi. Megumi has no way to deal with the speed gap. Megumi doesn't have any lightning timer stuff or scales to any of the other stuff in JJK, unfortunately, when it comes to the lightning timer stuff. However, Sasuke does. Sasuke scales to, his own lightning. There's other arguments. There's other statements in Naruto. There's like guidebook statements where there's attacks that move at lightning speed. So there's other avenues. And even if we use those, Sasuke, he's just going to blitz, get in, throw kunai or Chidori, and then just hit Megumi right in his chest, and it's just going to be over. So I think Sasuke would win that more often than not. But ultimately, depending on what ranges you use, Megumi can definitely take victory due to him either being faster, even if the speed was relative, you could argue his tactical use of his Shikigami and other aspects of the fight that he could take into account and use against Sasuke. But in my opinion, and what I've seen more often than not, if we're going with like the more consistent stuff, I do have to lean a little bit more so as Sasuke due to having better, speed scaling. He is faster. If we use the higher speed interpretation, I think he'd be able to foil a lot of Megumi's plans due to the speed edge, because Megumi can't get it off if he's getting blitzed. But if we look at things from a more, well-rounded perspective, or if we're looking at lower speed scaling and a more focus, a more in-depth tactical and, methodical approach, I would say Megumi would be the winner in that case. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section. It's been real. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.